Tennessee Tech head coach Bobby Wilder. Team played a non-conference game last week, came up 22-20, just short against South Carolina State. They're back in action in conference play. They're tied atop the standings. There's three undefeated teams. They're going to play the other team that's also 2-0, nationally ranked Southeast Missouri. So, coach, just some thoughts on your team first, and we'll go to some questions.
Very disappointed with losing. That game came down to the last play against South Carolina State. We had an opportunity to kick a field goal with no time left, just barely missed the kick. Credit to them, credit to Coach Berry. They're a good football team. They play hard. Great learning experience for us playing in a game like that. Really excited to be back in league play, playing an excellent football team in Southeast Missouri State. Very excited for this game this weekend, Kyle.
You fell behind early, so 13-0, and in some other games you've been the opposite of that. I would say your team battled back. You had four of the next five scores in the game, but what was the difference, obviously, with falling behind and having to make that climb back?
They played better than we did early on. We turned the ball over. They took advantage. This is the second time we've been in a game like this. First game of the year, Middle Tennessee State, we were down 21-0 and came back to take the lead late. Same thing in this game, came back to take the lead. And when you're a program like Tennessee Tech that's had 12 straight non-winning seasons, you have to learn how to win. You have to learn how to close out games. And I really like how competitive we are, how focused we are. Everybody's into it. Everybody wants to win. There's a process to winning. It takes a process, and you hope that process happens faster. A couple one-score games now, this has happened to us. We're sitting here at 2-3, and you are what your record says you are. We have to learn how to finish in those type of football games, and we'll continue to stay focused on the process of winning.
Your record says you're 2-0 in conference play, though. So talk about that opportunity to play the team that's also 2-0 right now in the stand.
Very excited about that. If somebody had told me, Kyle, back on December 3rd when I was hired that Tennessee Tech would be playing a game October 12th for sole possession of first place, I would have said, I'll take it. I'm in, all about it. It is very exciting. And to play a team like SEMO at their place, well-coached team, I have tremendous respect for the details, studying all their games in all three phases. They're very detail-oriented. They have very good players. They coach well. It's such a tremendous opportunity for Tennessee Tech University to be in a meaningful game like this on Saturday.
If you look at just numbers, SEMO's quarterback is among the top in the nation. They've been throwing the ball a lot. I know they've had some injuries at other positions, but they've been throwing the ball a lot this year. What have you seen about that, and what kind of challenges that present for you all?
Oh, very impressed with the quarterback. I've been doing this for 31 years and played quarterback, was an offensive coordinator, quarterback coach. So I'm always appreciative of good quarterback play and good arm talent. And he's as good as anybody I've seen in FCS right now in terms of arm talent, in terms of timing. He makes back shoulder throws. He makes seam ball throws. He can throw the ball from one hash to the opposite sideline and throw that 15-yard out route or come back, depending on what the concept is. There's not a lot of guys that can make that throw from the left hash to the opposite sideline like he can. So he's very impressive. Their system suits him, especially with what they do in the RPO game on top of what they do out of just drop back. So very, very impressive football player, and certainly going to be a major challenge for us on Saturday.
I want to ask about in your game just the breakdown of pass attempts, 42 pass attempts against the rushing, and some of the other games in the year has been a little bit more rushing. I know it is what the defense sort of gives you too. Just thoughts on the play breakdown against South Carolina State.
We would very much like to be more balanced. Fell behind in this football game, so we threw it a little bit more in the game. I like the fact that we're very unpredictable right now. I like the fact that our quarterback, Jordan Potts, is progressing. He threw for 300 yards in this game. We've got to clean up a couple things with ball security, threw the ball well, made some really good plays with his feet, moved well. And I like the fact that Dylan Leibel, who we thought was going to be out for the year, our quarterback that was hurt the first game at Middle Tennessee, practiced today. So, we've got an opportunity to have Dylan back, have Jordan progressing. Was not expecting this with Dylan. He's just worked so hard to get back from his injury. So that gives us a couple different options at quarterback. It gives us that quarterback that has that big arm. That's Dylan Leibel's really similar to their quarterback in terms of style, the way they play, arm strength, accuracy. And then we've got Jordan Potts, who's only started 11 games in his career and just continues to progress, continues to make strides. And similar, Kyle, to a lot of young quarterbacks, they have mistakes, and sometimes they have mistakes where they turn the ball over. Not always his fault, but with a younger quarterback, those things are going to happen. But just so pleased with the progress of Jordan Potts and his development, and now with the potential to have Dylan Leibel back playing, it's good for Tennessee Tech football.
How do you put that in your back pocket and use it to your advantage when you have two quarterbacks and keeping the other team off guard, whether it's this week, whether it's in 3 weeks, the last game of the year? Because I'm sure you've had to do that and play teams that throws that wrinkle in. How do you take advantage of that?
Yeah, it's very challenging. You almost have to have two different defenses depending on who the quarterback is. And we may have Dylan Leibel this weekend. He looked really good in practice today, and now you've got a guy with a big arm that you can run 4 verticals, and he can stick a seam ball at 22 yards on a line, or he can stick a dig route backside with a concept front side, and the defense has to defend that. And then you've got Jordan Potts that we're moving the pocket a lot with him. We're running with him. We're running design QB runs with him and RPOs with him. So there's a couple different systems that have to be defended when you have those quarterbacks. Now, as a head coach, as an offensive coordinator for Tennessee Tech, you've also got to manage both of those things. There's the practice reps, there's what goes into it, but it certainly, Kyle, makes us a more diverse offense, and it makes us a little bit more difficult to defend if we have both of them and they're both playing good football.
Well, that's all we got for you this morning, Coach. Appreciate your time. Best of luck on the trip to SEMO, and then we'll talk to you again this time next week.
You got it, Kyle. Good talking to you, buddy. Have a great day.